Hello. If you want to give a top class speech in a classroom or anywhere really, then this video is going to show you how to plan and deliver one. Even though it's no longer a huge part of the overall English mark, giving a talk or a speech or presentation is one of those vital, real world skills you do well to learn. I'm going to start by doing things a little bit bum about front, a bit back to front, because I'm now going to give you a masterclass in how not to do it. In the next clip, try and identify all the things that I do wrong.
Hello, today I'm going to talk about coat hangers. Coat hangers are a vital instrument for holding up our clothes. And the first one...
You've thought about trees, yeah? Trees. My days trees are sick, yeah? Wicked. But back to coat hangers. The first recording... Stop looking at me. Oh, Gavin, stop it, yeah? I can't do it when you're looking at me. Well done if you noticed any of these howlers that I committed. Now obviously I was exaggerating to get my points across, but you can appreciate that by avoiding as many of those mistakes as possible, that can only boost the quality of your delivery. Oh yeah, and I guess my subject matter too, the scintillating story of the coat hanger was a bit of a turkey and all. First step then is to pick a subject that's got the potential to be interesting. Now, some of my recent students have done a real pick and mix of engaging topics. What have we had? One girl did media portrayal of girls, toxic masculinity we've had, misconceptions about India, eating disorders, great films. Geez, we've had one lassie, did a talk on the Boston Strangler. We found it most gripping. Any road. Joanna Nordblad is going to be the subject of my talk, just because my daughter did a presentation on her for primary school, and by thunder this lassie's the real deal, this Joanna Nordblad. She's the real queen of freeze, she makes Princess Elsa look like an amateur. So you pick your topic, you get planning, and I'm sure you're sharp enough to realise that great talks don't just happen by accident. There's some spade work and preparation you've got to do. For instance, I'm pretty sure that Martin Luther King didn't just pull that I have a dream speech out of his bottom whilst he was standing on the podium. I bet he'd crafted that thing, I bet he'd planned it like D-Day. 1 hour on Tinternet got me this. This is the fruits of my research. I flicked through a few articles, found a few videos of Joanna Nordblad swimming under the ice. I took my notes, I've turned it into this 5 W's and a H. Now you don't have to do that with your notes. I found it really effective for organising my research findings. Now if you've seen any of my other videos on writing imaginatively or transactional tasks, you know I've got 2 main steps to planning. What am I going to talk about? That's the first step I think about. Then I think, how am I going to say it? How am I going to engage the reader? And that's the stuff on the right here, me monkeying about with metaphors, rolling out high-level verbs and adjectives, helping to craft my writing. If I'm going to speak well, I've got to write well first, haven't I? So I've got to think, how can I present my ideas as engagingly as possible? Before I show you me modelling best practice in delivering a presentation, you've got a few choices where to go next. What to do with those early notes, or that who, what, where, when stuff. Number 1, you can refine those research notes, get them onto cue cards, sentence prompts that'll help you in your delivery. My personal preference is number 2 though. Turn your notes into an actual honest to goodness script, and then turn that script, once you've learnt it, once you're congruent and familiar with it, then turn it into prompts on cue cards. That will mean that those kind of notes in front of you are that little bit more meaningful, more useful when you're standing there doing it for real. Mind you, the diamond standard is to make like an actor and rehearse until you've memorised your lines. Now it's a gamble this, of course it is, there's no safety net. In fact, you might even want to take your cue cards with, just as an insurance policy, even if you don't rely on them. But nothing's going to give you more fluency and confidence in your patter than having learned it by heart. In fact, you can even, when you're preparing, use a stopwatch, use a camera phone, so you can get the timings right and see what it looks like, maybe make a few changes accordingly. I've just bunged this in briefly, just so you get an idea of how the plan, those 2 steps, what and how that plan is filtered into the final product. I'm going to look a lot less like Johnny No Stars, our friend at the bottom there, if I take that time to plan. Don't feel you have to go to this extreme, but some of the best student speakers I've seen, sometimes their notes even include guidance on the tone of voice or non-verbal stuff like hand movements and eye contact. It's not a must, as I say. It's not a bad idea either. I mean, even if you deviate from your notes, you've still got that kind of solid structure to fall back on if you find yourself floundering. Showtime, folks. Now, I don't claim I can out Martin Luther King, and I'm pretty sure I'll never be crowned the king of the TED Talk. But if I can't deliver a distinction level, level 9 level GCSE presentation, I don't know my business. Watch me at work now, and I'm going to be delivering one paragraph of this presentation, trying to identify what I'm doing right.
It all started for Nordblad, quite by accident. Having broken her leg in a horrific cycling incident, doctors were ready to amputate. Such was the extent of the injury. To save the leg, Nordblad undertook ice therapy, where the limb is soaked for prolonged periods in ice water. Well, as you can imagine, the pain was eye-popping, agonising. And yet, over time, something remarkable happened.
Well done, fat congrats if you clocked me doing any of this stuff. At the very least, I'm a few shades sharper than when I was doing that earlier presentation, clucking on about coat hangers. There's the entire script. Now it runs to about 2.5 minutes when delivered full throttle. And if you think that's a bit short, cop this quick fix for a level 9 that I'm going to show you now for a distinction. One of the criteria for a distinction is that you have to present sophisticated ideas. And I think this is a great shortcut, easy win to ensure that your presentation is sophisticated, because it's taking the idea or the person that you're talking about and think about what they symbolise or represent. Have a quick nose at that paragraph just to get an idea of what I'm honking on about.
And we're done, folks. Now you may sometimes sit in a classroom thinking, why am I doing this? This is going to have boggle use to me when I leave school. But you can't say that here, can you? Because public speaking is a skill set that can really take you places. As somebody wiser than me once said, the tongue unlocks, and solid speaking skills are going to see you storming through that door mark success. Best of luck to you.